Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Number 150, y'all. Thank you, Reddit, for helping me out. Much appreciated, guys. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. And let's talk about the 150th edition of this Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. When I started this way back when, and hopefully I'll give you the date of the first one. I know I'm ill prepared, but I just want to give you the first one. I believe it was May, wasn't it? It was an unofficial start. All that. May 2020. So, yeah, a lot of people said, how do you do it, Jeff? How do you stop? Do you ever stop with Degrassi Unpopular Opinions? Well, there's been dry periods. There have been periods that I've been doing other projects that I have not been focusing on. So anyway, it's a great time to be alive and all that. So the first video, was the unpopular opinion prologue. Students should be blamed about Rick's bullying and all that. I talked about it in my first ever unpopular opinion, and then I talked about it in my 100th unpopular opinion. So this started on May 19th, 2020. So it's been 2 years and almost 2 months. So it's been about 26 months. Can you believe it? 26 months since I started doing Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. And of course, with number 150 coming up, I'm going to have to do a new top 30 CDUOs, Cutter Degrassi Unpopular Opinions, do the 2022 version of it. Because there's been some great unpopular opinions that have sprouted out since I did last year's video about the top 100. And no, I don't plan on having a 200th Degrassi Unpopular Opinion by the end of 2022. I think it'll be more towards 2023, and then maybe one a year or something like that. So yeah, watch out for that on the Reddit community. Anyway, so I know you guys want to talk about what's number 150 for you. Well, I famously have made a statement throughout the Degrassi Unpopular Opinions thing. Obviously, you'll see the playlist. If you're on Reddit, you see the post I'm doing about number 150. I give you the link to the Degrassi Unpopular Opinions from 1 to 150 that are being uploaded and all that. So the simple fact is that I've done a few on a specific topic. And this specific topic has to do with the Emma clingy phase, or so-called Emma clingy phase. I've done videos about the writers doing it wrong. Zombie Emma was that the right thing. Emma's problems in season 6 with Manny and even season 5 with Manny. So this is a combination. Now, do note that I have not removed any of those unpopular opinions, even though they're kind of dated, quote unquote. So the fact of the matter is I'm going to make a big statement. I know it's an unpopular opinion about Emma's clingy phase in general, like, her clingy boyfriend phase and her clingy friend phase was used by the Rick Murray situation. This is now my official statement after learning facts and, just stopping to smell the roses. Emma's clingy boyfriend phase is about Rick Murray. So, all that. And also, Emma's clingy friend phase is not because of Rick Murray. It started with Rick Murray, but it did not completely go into the clingy friend phase till after If You Leave. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of background and hopefully speed through this. I've wasted a few minutes of your time. Sorry. So anyway, as we all know, Emma was a little precocious and making mountains out of molehills in the first 3+ seasons of Degrassi. By the time that Rick came back to Degrassi in season 4, Rick was back and Emma was told by Paige to try to destroy Rick because of what he did to Terry McGregor. Of course, Emma has no friends because she pissed off Liberty and May by her trying to prevent Liberty and Chris from going out because for some strange reason Emma thought, what will this mean for me if Chris dates Liberty? And I'm like, why would you make such a statement like that? That was uncharacteristic by Emma. And also the simple fact that Emma is like, didn't Emma dump Chris off in the first place? Now she wanted him back. So she admitted that she wanted Chris back, and she didn't know how to say it. She could have just said, "Oh, I just want Chris back. Can I have Chris back?" Without being a nuisance. Well, of course, Manny told Liberty they both break off from Emma, and Emma is all by herself. She doesn't really have friends. So she joins this Paige's clique to try to destroy Rick and all that. Unfortunately, she gets put out of that because she protected Rick from a beating from Alex, because Emma kind of figured that the Orange Ribbon protest was not to her liking, so she had to stop it. So, of course, Emma ends up being friendless. Well, she doesn't have a boyfriend in season 4. Well, after Chris leaves her, or whatever. So, Emma is the only people she hangs out with are the Quiz Bowl team of Rick, Toby, and Hedda Sinclair, who will soon be replaced by Jimmy after contracting mono. One guy even said maybe Craig had been dating Heather, and that's why Craig has mono. And that's why Craig might be sick. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. But the simple fact is that Emma, has no friends, and then Rick makes creepy advances towards her. Finally, Rick makes one too many, and Emma clues in and decides to dump Rick off, saying that I pitied you, get a clue. Rick goes to the school with a gun, but that's to get Paige. Paige does calm him down, inadvertently not knowing about the gun, and then, Rick is ready to relax, and then all of a sudden Jay and Spitter give him the news that Jimmy may have started this whole Paint and Feathers mess. Rick shoots Jimmy and then finds Emma, Toby, and Sean conveniently and wants to kill Emma for spurning his advances. And Sean saves the day by shooting Rick, and of course Rick having Emma having her trauma. So the fact is that Emma wanted to be with Sean in the aftermath, and then on the Monday after the shooting, Sean goes back to Wasaga Beach to confront his parents for dumping him off and making some statement on the news. But the parents did it with the good intentions, and Sean realizes he needs to stay in Wasaga and deal with his PTSD because he killed Rick. And I think in a way he was worried that that the police were going to go after him. But then again, it's like the police would have gotten Sean on the weekend before this happened if they were really going after him. But I guess with Rick being the shooter and all that, I think Sean didn't have to worry, because I think the police would not have gotten anything. So the connection there is that Emma wanted to be with Sean, despite the fact that Sean was with Ellie. So Sean left Ellie and Emma high and dry. Ellie didn't really move on that well, and Emma, well, her next boyfriend is Peter, season 5. So Emma, I think, in a way, pines for Sean. And, Emma is in zombie mode. Jay basically gives her gonorrhea. I know it's not confirmed, but I think it happened. So the fact of the matter for Emma and friends is that, Liberty and Manny finally got back towards Emma, but I think more towards the middle of the season. I think they both realized they needed to help Emma because of her zombie phase. I mean, she was in the drama club with Liberty and Manny, and they were trying to help her calm down. I think they kind of saw that Emma was going through a phase. And then, of course, Manny gets in trouble in season 5 after she flashes Peter's camera. And, Peter wants to be with Manny instead of Emma, despite the fact that Manny's doing all her best to give Emma a chance to be with Peter because, after all, Emma needs a boyfriend. Unfortunately, the problems with Peter lead to Manny's parents kicking her out. Well, Manny's dad was upset because Manny used her dad's credit card to get plastic surgery to try to fix herself up for movie roles. So basically, he's mad and wants Manny to drop her acting career. Manny says no, and her dad kicks her out. Emma thankfully gets Snake and Spike to take her in, and, Emma's happy. She's got a roommate, in a sense. Unfortunately, Emma becomes hurtful in season 5. She goes with Peter behind Manny's back, which ticks me off, and then, she has a eating disorder. She has problems after Snake and Spike break off for a little bit. And all of a sudden, you got yourself the simple fact that, Emma is still with Peter. And Manny is okay with it, I think, in a sense. But then Sean comes back in season 6, somehow ruins it. And Peter, after realizing that Emma might go back with Sean because of all Manny said, maybe Manny was trying to break off Emma and Sean and Peter. I think the fans wanted Emma to end. But anyway, yeah. So, he decides to frame Sean for drugs, and thinks he's going to get Emma's heart back. Unfortunately, though, Sean challenges Peter to a street race. It ends badly as Sean hit the person, and got to go to jail. Emma breaks off with Peter after realizing what Peter had done to try to save the relationship. I mean, I can't blame Peter for that, but the crimes and all that. Emma basically breaks off with Peter. Peter goes off towards Darcy to try to better himself, and Emma gravitates towards Sean, and then Sean ends up, leaving her for the army, and Emma then finds love with Damien, which I found a little awkward. Emma and Damien have a falling out because Damien wants to be with Liberty, not Emma, but Emma finds true love with Kelly, or so she thinks, and basically Kelly is back to the Yukon after Emma controlled him one too many times, and Emma couldn't find anyone, so she marries Spinner randomly. Now, if you remember all my previous stuff, and if you don't know about the previous stuff and want to binge watch from 1 to 149, I suggest you do. Of course, I'm not taking them down because, it's a historical point by point. You'll probably see some saying, wait, he made that point before. But yeah, that was beforehand, and then I changed my tone. So the clingy boyfriend phase was due to Rick because, Emma had no boy that would have protected her from Rick's advances. Never mind Rick having the gun pointed at her, but the advances and all that. Too bad Emma never saw the signs at first. She should have, because she would have been a hero. But she would have told Snake and not Raditch. Well, she would have told Snake because A, Snake is her stepfather and very trusted, and B, is that Raditch would probably have a grudge against Emma, which I've always talked about. The simple fact is that, with a boyfriend, it's possible that Emma's boyfriend probably would have destroyed Rick in such a way. Of course, I put myself in the shoes in my fanfic that I would be the guy to protect Rick. But of course, I go off the rails, beating up on Raditch, beating up everyone who ruined Emma. But we're not here about fanfic. The simple fact is that, Emma probably felt that if she had a boyfriend near her, and basically that's why she wanted to be with Sean, because, and, she's with Sean. Sean protected her from Rick, and she could have died if it wasn't for Sean. I just wish Toby was in that situation. I mean, yeah, Toby was a little creepy, but Toby could have had more credence, and basically by the start of season 3, he was put on the back burner for Craig in a sense. Heck, he even appeared in some Degrassi episodes in season 6 and 7, but yet he's not in the opening credits. Well, that's just pathetic to Jake Goldsby. I feel for the kid. So the simple fact is that, Emma's clingy boyfriend phase happened with that. And she was with Peter, Sean, Damien, and Kelly. I guess it's a way to try to say that she has protection in case a Rick type person would go after her and all that. But unfortunately, those relationships didn't work out. Peter putting Sean through the ringer just to get Emma's heart back, which failed miserably. Emma and Damien breaking up because Damien wanted to be with Liberty. I mean, I get it. Emma wanting to control Sean when he came back, like in season 6, and almost went with a fake pregnancy. And then you got yourself, like, Kelly. She was controlling. Yeah, there were hints that Emma was desperate to try to keep a boy close to her, try to share her own personalities and all that stuff. But Kelly's dad, I think, got the right idea, saying that, Emma's holding you back, and Kelly decides to go back to the Yukon. And, terrible. The simple fact is that that's not to change. But here's what does change with me. The clingy friend phase. It's not completely because of Rick. I say it's 25% Rick and 75% If You Leave. All right, so the episode If You Leave was a couple episodes after JT got stabbed and all that. And fatally. And Emma doesn't know how to process things because she learns that Manny is told to move back home with her parents in the wake of the JT stabbing, saying that she's in a bad spot and she needs to come home, which Manny agrees to. Emma is not too pleased about it. Trying to tell Manny how she feels. Manny has no time for her. She has schoolwork, she has the cheerleading competition, and she has a relationship. Okay, cool. Unfortunately, though, they have a girls' night, or were going to have a girls' night, and then Emma basically was shafted by Manny. So Manny basically decides not to be with Emma. That puts Emma more danger. And Emma hears about the cheerleading competition at Degrassi, and Snake, says it's the first time in more than 3 decades Degrassi could win one. And Emma says, we shouldn't be doing this in the wake of the JT thing. It's only been a couple of weeks. Are we dancing on JT's grave? Manny says, no, we'll help and we'll pay tribute to JT. Emma's still not convinced, especially when she finds out that Manny is dating Lakehurst's student president, Damien. And of course, Lakehurst was the two guys from Lakehurst course to stab JT and kill him. Like Drake Lampley, I think, went to jail for the rest of his life. And Johnny DeMarco had scars that he never got fixed until Brat Camp. So the fact of the matter is that, Emma sees red. But Mia and, was there someone else? Like Darcy? I think Darcy was also in this. Basically said, wait a minute, Damien, your family knows Drake Lampley's family. Have you heard from him? And Damien stutters and Manny flips on Emma. But Emma says, look, Lakehurst killed JT. What else am I going to do? So, of course, they do this protest. There's a big fight between Degrassi and Lakehurst, despite the fact Degrassi won the competition. I think they got it stripped because of Emma's actions. Snake tries to talk to Emma after Emma got a month's detention. Emma tries to explain to Snake they killed JT and all that. And Snake says, wrong. One student killed JT. You can't blame the whole school for someone dying. And Emma says, everyone's moving on from JT, and I'm pissed off, and I can't stand it. And then Snake tells her that her anger is not towards Lakehurst. It's towards Manny because, Manny left her, and Emma just couldn't process how to be without Manny. So they meet at the end of the episode, and Manny says, well, every time you try to make me the bad guy, it fails. You're trying to make me the bad guy, Emma, and we all know that's not true. And Emma says, I guess every time I try to make you the bad guy, it fails. So Manny tells Emma about, we're a team, we can get through things together. We just have to work things out. And Emma says, thanks for the reminder. I think that if you leave episode was the official start of the clingy friend phase because, Emma spends lots of energy trying to deal with having friendship with Manny and Liberty for that matter. Now there's like, what type of evidence do you have against it? Well, here's the thing. The evidence for it is season 8. When in the two-parter, when Shep becomes president, principal after Hatzalakos leaves for Regina, leaving Peter emancipated, Emma decides behind everyone's back to try to get a room with her and Manny and Liberty. Despite the fact that Manny and Liberty were quite comfortable together and Emma was in another floor, and it could have been a perfect chance for Emma to meet new people and then bump into Manny and Liberty on campus every so often or invite them to stuff. She tries everything in her power to make sure they're together. And it's like, why? It doesn't make sense. Why would Emma go from her personality in high school and in college she's just clingy and all that? Simple. The Rick Murray situation. Because the Rick Murray situation taught Emma the power of friendship. I know it's the My Little Pony trope, but the fact is, look at it this way. Let's face it. Emma had no clear-cut friends. She pissed off Manny and Liberty after the offense with Chris. And no, I am not saying that Emma was in the right in any sense of the proportion. Emma deserved to get shat on. I apologize, but that's the way it goes. Emma deserved to lose Manny and Liberty as friends. But here's the thing. Manny might have wanted to be with Emma because when they did the hot tub scene in season 4, Mercy Street, she says, Emma loves the hot tubs. Maybe I should invite her. And then Manny says, she's the devil and all that. No, Liberty says that. And Manny doesn't invite her. And then in the bathroom, after Emma consoles Paige over the Rick situation, Emma tells Manny and Liberty, quite frankly, I'm going for a green tea with Paige. Have fun with your hot tub. In a way to basically say, you dump me up as friends, I don't need you and all that. Of course, Emma was just sour about losing Manny and Liberty as friends. I mean, I get it. But unfortunately, Emma's new friends shaft her when she protects Rick, in a sense. Not understanding that Emma was upset that the cause was taken incorrectly. I mean, for domestic violence people, I understand Emma's thing. you look through the playlist about the Orange Ribbon campaign stuff. But the simple fact is that she didn't have any close friends. Well, Toby wasn't really a close friend, quote unquote. Heather Sinclair wasn't a close friend. Rick wasn't a close friend. Not even Jimmy. So the fact of the matter is that Emma didn't really hang out much. And I do think that Paige used her influence to make Emma almost persona non grata. And people didn't want to hang out with her. Manny and Liberty never really wanted to hang out with Emma during the Rick storyline. Before Rick had the gun at Emma, pointed at Emma. So it felt bad. And, you know, the only person that could have stopped it, other than Sean, was Toby. I'm just surprised they didn't make Toby out to be a good guy, but they made Toby like a wimp, and his character development just fizzled. It just doesn't make sense. But all I'm going to say is that Emma didn't really have any close friends. I mean, Manny and Liberty came back to her, but she was dealing with Jay and the gonorrhea and the trying to fix herself and stay out of zombie Emma phase, which she failed miserably. She did kind of snap out of it after the gonorrhea scare, realizing that's not her. She's not who she should be. Why was she that way? So it took Emma a gonorrhea scare to realize she has to be herself and all that. Now, I said the clingy friend phase was because of the Rick situation. Now, riddle me this. If Emma was a clingy friend to Manny after the Rick Murray situation and it led to it, then why was Emma being a prick in season 5 with Manny? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Why would Emma, if she wanted to lash on with Manny as a friend, go behind Manny's back to date the guy who ruined her? Who ruined Manny? And Emma was going to help Manny out, but then the shirtless pics, and she felt reprieved. And it was the clean girlfriend phase because, you know, with Sean out of the way, she probably felt she needed a boy that would stop a Rick Murray type. You know, a guy who wanted to go after Emma for spurning her, even though that Emma meant well. So it all ties in. The simple fact is that if Emma was a true friend to Manny and wanted Manny as a friend and wanted to cling on to Manny as a friend, why did she go after Peter? Why did she want to go after Peter? And she knows this behind Manny's back, and she knows this. But one theory I have, and you can agree or disagree, and it was a cutter and popular opinion, is in Emma's thing in season 5. Emma probably figured that if Manny objected to her being with Peter, then Emma could basically kick Manny out saying stuff like that. You don't want to support me? Well, screw you. You're gone. Have a good time. I don't need you. So basically, Emma would probably kick Manny to the curb. Because Emma wanted to be in control of her life. And Spike was right in season 7 when she said that Emma, the last time Emma really had control, she had an eating disorder. And that was when she had the eating disorder. And stupidly, I thought that Emma was told by Manny to help her lose weight for a role. Incorrect. Manny may have said something, but she didn't encourage Emma to help her lose weight. Emma took it as a sign to gain control and basically be a bitch. She was a bitch to Manny, and there had to be a good reason. Emma knew that if Manny objected to her and Peter, Emma would kick Manny out. Remember, just before Emma had the panic attack that sent her to the hospital because of her eating disorder, Emma was going to throw Manny out saying, I trusted you, get out. You're not my friend anymore. But Manny says, I'm helping you. Because Manny arranged an intervention with Peter, Manny, Snake, and Spike to tell her off. And Emma didn't like that and told everyone off. She told Peter, you take advantage of drunk girls. You are that drunk girl to Manny. And then to Snake, he says, and you kissed his mom. Surprised she didn't go after Spike. But in a sense that, you know, it had to go towards Spike. The simple fact, guys, is that, you know, when you analyze it, is that if Emma was a clingy friend to Manny after Rick Murray, season 5 took that notion and blew it up like a freaking fireworks cannon. Boom. And that's why I think that the clingy friend phase is not totally Rick Murray. Maybe it was like 10-20%, but it was definitely not that. And the majority of it was because of If You Leave, season 6. Okay, I did a Reddit poll a long time ago. So of course this is taped on July 9th, 2022 for context. July 9th. Hey, you know what? Oh, no. Sorry. May 19th was the first Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. I thought it was May 9th. It's hey, that's 24 months completely. 26 months. Nope. Anyway, I did this thing. It's called Hidden Agenda and Emma's Behavior in Season 6, If You Leave, Maybe. Okay. We all know about Emma's behavior in the wake of the JT stabbing, in which she goes overboard with not wanting Lakehurst near Degrassi because of the stabbing, and also upset when Manny seems to abandon her. But what if there's a hidden agenda? As we all know, Emma was withdrawn after the Rick Murray situation, and basically she wasn't back to being the old Emma from seasons 1 to 3.5, and everyone wanted her back to the old way she was. But I feel that Emma's behavior in the episode If You Leave, rubbed people off the wrong way and also reminded them of Emma's terrible phase of making mountains out of molehills, thus seasons 1 to 3.5. And I also feel that Emma's issues were her supposed PTSD coming back to her after, what Rick did. And she should have told Snake about that the JT stuff might have reminded her of Rick coming after her 2 years prior. Also the fact that it seems Emma, after being told out by Snake and Manny for her rash behavior, decided to not be the old Emma anymore. And decided to try to put more effort into keeping friendships and a boyfriend. Thus, maybe why she decided to be clingy at times and draw ire from the fan base. After the episode, Emma was reminded of why she shouldn't go after Manny. In a way, feeling that her attacks on Manny reminded fans of how Emma was not a good friend to Manny. And then she starts her phase of clinging Emma and doesn't hurt Manny again. Seems that Snake's talk to Emma told her that she couldn't be the old Emma ever again because it rubs people the wrong way. But still, ... I didn't get many responses. One person said, to be honest, this is a bit hard to understand, but I don't think it had any effect, really, because it wasn't mentioned. They barely brought up anything up about the shooting after the anorexia thing. It seemed dismissed. True. I get it. And then Darkstar says, interesting take. It might be a possibility. But the simple fact of that is the simple thing that, I'm starting to think that when Snake and Manny told her about her behavior in the last parts of If You Leave, Emma finally clued in and said she couldn't be the old Emma. I know everyone in season 4 wanted her to be back to the old Emma, but I mean, the old Emma had a negativity to it, like, making mountains on molehills and being easily triggered and having boyfriend issues. So Emma learned to try to burn the old Emma and make a new Emma and try to make friends, make a boyfriend, and be happy. Unfortunately, she failed miserably. I don't blame Emma for that, but Emma put too much effort into that. She just couldn't be the old Emma. She couldn't find a balance between the old Emma from seasons 1 to 3.5 and the new Emma from seemingly the second half of season 6 onwards. It's like that Simpsons episode when Homer is told off by Lisa. Homer says, honey, I'm either a good father or a bad father. There's no in between with me. And Lisa says, how about a dimmer switch? Because, a dimmer switch, it's like a light switch, but you can turn it to as bright or as dark as you want. And the light will be on, technically. So Emma, unfortunately, couldn't find the balance. Couldn't find the dimmer switch of her actions. She either overreacted or underreacted, and people were upset. The fan base has a pissed off feeling about Emma. I don't think that they should. Emma set the stage for Claire and Maya. But the simple fact is that you are letting your emotions get to you. I get it. I'm like that too on the Degrassi Reddit. I let my emotions get to me, sometimes too. But you got to realize, guys, that it's the old Rags and Harmony song. I'm only human. No, Megan Bone. Only some people, some people do, but I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. I love that song desperately. I know it's been on a couple of commercials for paper towels up north in Canada, but yeah, great. So anyway, thanks for watching, and research my 150 discussing unpopular opinions because I listen to the Reddit community a lot. So thanks for watching. Adieu, and to the next 50, hopefully.